Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today we continue our series building decks led by the new legendary creatures from the Final Fantasy set. Leading today's deck is none other than Jill, Shiva's Dominant. Also, and I know it's annoying to keep hearing this, but statistically if I don't ask you to like and subscribe, the video gets fewer subscribers. Jill, Shiva's Dominant is a 3-mana 2/2 legendary human noble warrior. When she enters, we return up to one other target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. We may pay 5 mana and tap and exile Jill, then return her to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. But we may only do that at sorcery speed. Transformed, Jill becomes Shiva, Warden of Ice, a 4/5 legendary enchantment saga elemental creature. Her first 2 lore counters make it so target creature can't be blocked this turn. Her third and final lore counter ability taps all lands our opponents control. We then exile Shiva and return her to the battlefield transformed back into Jill. Dominants are characters from Final Fantasy XVI who can summon icons. Sort of. Instead of summoning a separate entity like in the rest of the Final Fantasy games, Dominants transform into their icons, but this consumes their mana at an alarming rate. Because, unlike other Final Fantasy games, where the summons are large, the icons of Final Fantasy XVI are kaiju. For those unfamiliar with them, an average summon in most Final Fantasy games is between 4 and 6 meters tall. In Final Fantasy XVI, they are 15 to 30 meters tall. Now, Dominants do have the option of doing partial transformations, where they remain roughly human-sized, a form that is stronger than humans but doesn't consume nearly as much mana. Anyway, back to our commander. Jill is one of the main playable characters of 16. She was raised in Rosaria, a foster sister of Clive and Joshua. At the age of 12, after a fight between icons, Jill is captured by the Iron Kingdom. The trauma of losing her foster family on top of being taken prisoner causes her icon to manifest. Now, in many kingdoms, dominants are worshipped. Not necessarily as gods, but high noble status, like Freddie Mercury or something. But the Iron Kingdom fears dominants. Most are put to death, but Jill doesn't get a quick ending. She is forced to become a weapon. Her captors threaten the other prisoners if she doesn't do as she's told, and since Jill is a good girl, she follows orders. So, to protect the innocents, Jill learns to kill. 13 years later, she is reunited with Clive, and the two of them set out to make things right. Shiva is a classic summon in Final Fantasy. She's always a woman, and is always ice-aspected. She often freezes her foes in the very land they stand on, so her abilities make sense to me. Now, this will be a mono-blue tempo deck. I've had a lot of Bracket 2 budget decks recently, so I wanted to go a little nuts with this one. Today, we have a Bracket 3 deck with a budget of about $300. Apologies to your wallet. But before we get to our deck list, a quick word from our sponsor, Ultimate Guard. The Return to Earth Boulder series is unique in that they are made almost entirely of renewable resources rather than plastic. And lately, Ultimate Guard has been printing these not just in solid colors, but with artist print, like the new Squaros series. As part of a set, you can call upon all of the Justice League to protect your commander decks, like this one, featuring the Flash. Pick yours up today at your local game store, or order it on Amazon. Link down below. In order to build a functional commander deck, you need lots of different pieces, which is why I try to rely on my handy-dandy checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. Oh, one more quick announcement before we get started. I'm currently streaming over on Gaming with Danon as well as Twitch. It'll mostly be Final Fantasy XIV, but you're more than welcome to pop in and talk about Commander. Honestly, about half my streams are talking about manga, anime, or Commander. Our land base consists of Reliquary Tower, Mystic Sanctuary, Rivendell, Castle Vantress, Mistrise Village, Scavenger Grounds, and 30 islands. Not too expensive, but a couple of cards that I probably wouldn't run in a budget list. For mana ramp, we've got High Tide, Peregrine Drake, Sapphire Medallion, Mox Amber, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Sky Diamond, Mind Stone, Felwar Stone, Thought Vessel, Decanter of Endless Water, Throne of Eldraine, Solemn Simulacrum, and Wayfarer's Bauble. Some cost reducers and land ramp, but mostly mana rocks. Oh, and some shenanigans. Our card advantage package consists of Dour Port Mage, Aether Channeler, Quistis Trepe, Brainstorm, Archaeomancer, Rhystic Study, Baron Tolarian Archmage, Fairy Mastermind, Endless Atlas, Frantic Search, Opt, Consider, Archmage Emeritus, Blue Sun Zenith, Pull from Tomorrow, Seagate Restoration, Windfall, and Candlekeep Sage. Lots of ways to dig through our deck and keep our hands full of cards. For interaction and spot removal, we've got Venser Shaper Savant, Counterspell, Arcane Denial, Hullbreaker Horror, An Offer You Can't Refuse, Narset Parter of Veils, Gadwick the Wizened, Fear of Sleep Paralysis, Monstrosity of the Lake, Lost in the Maze, Grappling Kraken, Snap, Negate, Pongify, Rapid Hybridization, Cryptic Command, Narset's Reversal, and Imprisoned in the Moon. Gotta love shutting down the Mono Red commander with an Imprisoned in the Moon. Our board wipes consist of Aetherize, Cyclonic Rift, and Evacuation. Simple and powerful. The core of our deck consists of Thassa Deep Dwelling, Conjurer's Closet, Ghostly Flicker, Ice Magic, Deadeye Navigator, Displacer Kitten, Planar Incision, and Blur. Supporting our plan, we've got Panharmonicon and Propaganda. Gotta love flicker combos. Now that we have our deck list, let's compare it to our checklist. 51 mana sources, split between 37 lanes and 14 pieces of ramp. A little heavy, I know, but we generally want to cast more than one spell per turn, so it's fine. 18 pieces of card advantage. We're in blue, so that's to be expected. 18 pieces of interaction, 3 board wipes, 1 piece of graveyard hate in Scavenger Grounds, no sudden I win cards, but lots of fun combos. Remember when I said this was a bracket 3 deck? I lied. This is actually a bracket 4 deck for one reason. Bracket 3 doesn't allow 2-card infinite combos that you can cast in the early game. Assuming we get a bit of ramp, at least 8 mana, we can go infinite on an early turn with Peregrine Drake and Deadeye Navigator. We cast Peregrine Drake, untapping our 5 lands. We then cast Deadeye Navigator and Soul Bond it to Peregrine Drake. We use our remaining 2 mana to flicker Deadeye Navigator and Peregrine Drake. They both leave and return. Peregrine Drake triggers, untapping 5 lands. We then tap those lands and start the process over. Each loop nets us 3 mana, and we can repeat this an infinite number of times. Once we have infinite mana, we can cast Blue Sun Zenith and force someone to draw a million cards, thus ruining their day and making us laugh. Of course, that's not the only combo in this deck. Let me know down in the comments below if you see any others. Also, let me know if you're thinking of building a Jill Shiva's Dominant Commander deck. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. You can have a video made or just ask for help building or tuning a deck list. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Muffins, Marcus, Brett, Roxy, Alex Borgi, Nazwin, Conga, Robert Pye, Kazaris, Patrick, Tiz, Art, Richard, Sint, Boomy, Osira, Justin, Golden Walker, Ernesto, Midge, and Captain Hammer. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander Deck videos every weekday, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.